The room was cold and silent. Metal walls surrounded the single chair in the center where a man sat. His hands were tied behind him. A bright white light shone directly on his face, but his eyes remained calm. He did not blink. He did not speak. Across the table, 3 alien officials stood watching him. They were tall, thin, with green skin and black oval eyes. They belonged to the Varn Dominion, one of the most powerful races in the galaxy. The oldest alien, Counselor Dren, stepped forward. His voice was cold. Name, origin, purpose. The human prisoner stayed silent. Dren's voice grew louder. Speak. What weapon did your people use to destroy our outpost on Beltranine? Still, the man said nothing. Only his lips moved slightly. As if whispering to himself, the youngest alien leaned closer. He's not afraid, he said quietly. Why is he not afraid? The human looked up slowly. His eyes burned with something deep, like he had seen more than they could imagine. Finally he spoke. We were forgotten. Now you remember. The lights in the room flickered. 120 years ago, the fall of Earth, humanity had once reached the stars with pride. Colonies spread across nearby systems. They were explorers, traders, thinkers, but they were not warriors. At least that's what the galaxy believed. The Varn Dominion attacked Earth without warning. The reason? Resources. Humans resisted, but they were not ready. Earth fell in less than a month. Billions died. The survivors were taken as slaves. Other alien empires followed the Varn's lead. Humans became workers, cleaners, servants scattered across the galaxy. The species was labeled low threat, low intelligence. No one feared them. No one watched them. That was the mistake. Now a hidden colony at the edge of the galaxy, far away from the core systems. On a cold and forgotten planet named Rethos, human slaves worked in deep mines. They were watched by machines, whipped by alien guards. They dug for tanzite, a rare crystal used in energy weapons. One man among them was different. His name was Commander Ryan, once a military officer, now a laborer covered in dust. But inside him, the fire of Earth still burned. Every night, Ryan and a few others met in secret tunnels. They whispered. They planned. We found something, said one of them, a young girl named Kel. Old tech. Buried deep under Sector 12. Looks human. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Show me. The discovery the next day, Ryan faked an injury and slipped into the forbidden sector. Kel followed. After crawling through tight shafts, they entered a dark chamber. The walls were smooth metal. Unlike the rocky tunnels outside, symbols on the floor glowed faintly blue. It's not just human, Kel said. It's pre-fall tech. This place is a vault. Ryan approached a large device in the center. It looked like a control hub. Dust covered its panels. He wiped it with his sleeve. Suddenly, lights blinked. A soft hum began. Power, Ryan whispered. After all these years, the machine came alive. A voice spoke from it. Female, calm, precise. System, I online. Kronos protocol awakened. Awaiting command. Kel's mouth fell open. It survived. Ryan stared at the machine. No, he said. It waited. Meanwhile, Alien Command Center, orbit of Rithus, an alien ship hovered high above the planet. Inside, Commander Tolar of the Varn watched his monitors. A red alert flashed. Sector 12, unauthorized energy signal, the computer said. Tolar frowned. Impossible. No energy should exist there. Investigate. He sent a drone to the surface. Back underground, Kronos spoke again. Emergency protocols detected. Human survival priority activated. Ryan leaned in. How many of these stations exist? 12. Hidden across lost colonies. You are the first to awaken me. Can you fight? Ryan asked. Yes, but full system activation requires human authorization code. Ryan pulled out a necklace. A metal chip hung from it. He inserted it into the panel. Authorization, Commander Ryan. Earth Defense Network last command issued. Survive. Kronos paused. Then, code accepted. Weapons platform Hellburn, initializing. A deep rumble shook the ground. K.E.L. whispered. What did we just wake up? Drone arrival above the chamber. The alien drone entered the mine. It scanned the area. It detected human presence. It also detected the Hellburn platform rising from beneath the surface. Before the drone could send its report, a blue beam shot from the chamber ceiling. The drone turned to ash in seconds. The first message hours later, Tolar received only static from the drone. Then, a signal broke through. A human face appeared. Ryan, I am Commander Ryan of the Earth Defense Network. You took our world. You enslaved our people. We asked for peace. You answered with fire. His eyes burned. Now. Remember us. The message ended. Tolar stood frozen. Prepare a strike force, he shouted. Kill them all. But it was too late. The Hellburn system had been activated. From deep beneath Rithos, massive weapons began to rise. They were old, powerful, built in secret during Earth's last days. Hover cannons, rail guns, defense towers, all fully automated and controlled by Kronos. The next day, when the alien strike ships entered the planet's atmosphere, they were torn apart by invisible plasma grids. None survived. On the surface, Ryan stood watching the burning sky. Kel stood beside him. They'll send more, Ryan nodded. Let them. A growing spark. News of the event spread fast through whispers, intercepted messages, hacked comms. Across the galaxy, scattered humans lifted their heads. A signal was sent from Rithos. A simple phrase encoded in Old Earth language. We are awake, some humans cried. Others sharpened tools. In hidden bunkers, old soldiers activated sleeping. Weapons. In dusty ruins, young rebels found forgotten symbols of Earth's flag. The galaxy had forgotten them. But now, the spark was lit. And nothing burns like a spark denied for too long. Back at the interrogation room, present, the human prisoner smiled as counselor. Dren stared at him. You think your people have power now? Dren hissed. You think you can challenge the Varn? The prisoner looked up. You didn't fear us when you should have. Now you'll fear what we've become. Alarms blared across the station. Warning, said an automated voice. Unidentified vessel approaching. Shields breached. Internal defense failing. Dren ran to the window. Outside, a dark human ship hung in space. Sleek, massive, glowing. With red energy. Its name was written on the side. H.E.L.B.O.R.N.E. 1. Blast tore through the alien station. And in that moment, the galaxy took its first step into fear. Dark clouds hung over the mining planet Rithos. The ground still shook from the battle. The remains of the Varn strike fleet burned in the upper atmosphere. Pieces of their ships rained down like ash. Human workers stared at the sky in disbelief. For the first time in generations, they saw something they thought they would never see again. Freedom. Commander Ryan stood in silence. Eyes on the black ship above them. The Hellburn, Earth's ancient weapon of vengeance. Now awakened. Beside him stood Kel, still covered in dust from the mines. Is it really ours? She whispered. Ryan nodded. Built by humans. Meant to protect us. Meant for war. Inside the Hellborn the Hellborn was alive. Its long corridors were lit by a soft red glow. Machines hummed quietly. The ship was controlled entirely by the ancient Earth AI Kronos. A voice echoed through the chambers. System diagnostic complete. All weapons online. Crew status empty. Awaiting command. Ryan stepped into the main control room. A large hologram of Earth spun slowly in the center. It feels haunted, Kel said. Ryan placed his hand on the control panel. Kronos. Show me the surviving colonies. Confirmed. 12 known slave colonies. Communication blocked. Sending encrypted signal now. A distant colony, Goron 6, on a desert planet far across the stars. Another human colony suffered in silence. Under alien control, humans toiled in open heat, watched by their insect-like captors. The Zethari, deep underground, in an old maintenance tunnel. A boy named Melo picked up a strange noise on a broken radio. Static, then a voice. "This is Commander Rhine. Earth lives." "You are not alone." Milo's eyes widened. He ran off within hours. Whispers spread across the camp. They say Earth is back. They say Rhine leads them. They say, we fight again. And for the first time in decades, someone scratched a human flag into the wall. The spark had reached them. Alien Alliance. High Council Sector Prime in a shining city floating in space. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Representatives from over 60 advanced alien species argued, shouted, and pointed claws. They destroyed a Varn fleet. Shouted one, with a single ship. The humans were supposed to be extinct. The Hellburn system was a myth. An elder alien with silver skin and glowing blue eyes stood calmly. "They were never extinct," he said. "We simply stopped watching." "Then we must destroy them again," snarled the Varn representative. The silver alien turned. "Last time, we brought fire to Earth." He paused. "This time they carry fire to us." Kronos reveals the past back on the Hellburn. Kel asked, "Why did we build this ship and hide it?" Kronos answered, "In Earth's final days, scientists predicted the fall. They built the Hellburn in secret, hidden from alien spies. A weapon of last resort, a symbol of revenge." Kel looked around the massive control deck. "But why wasn't it used during the war?" "Because humanity believed the galaxy would show mercy." They were wrong. Rhine's jaw clenched. "Not anymore." The first target Kronos displayed a map of the sector. Slave colony, Lura 7, controlled by the Varn. 400,000 human captives. Kel stepped forward. "Then we start there." Rhine gave the command. "Prepare for drop." The assault on Lura 7. The Hellburn descended silently through the clouds of Lura 7. Its shadow stretched across alien towers and slave camps. Panic broke out among the Varn troops. Inside the camps, human prisoners looked up in confusion and hope. Then, a voice echoed through every speaker on the planet. "We are the children of Earth. We have returned. Step back or burn." Laser turrets unfolded from the Hellburn's wings. Alien defense cannons fired. But the Hellburn's shields absorbed the blasts easily. Then it struck. Precision beams cut down guard towers. Barracks exploded. Energy shockwaves disabled the alien control systems. The human prisoners rose up, some with tools, others with bare hands. For the first time in decades, they fought back. Inside the Varn fortress, the Varn commander screamed orders. "Call reinforcements. Stop that ship." But the signal never went out. A small metal drone entered the command center. It carried a single message. The commander read it. "You enslaved us. You killed our families. You took our world. This is your last day." The drone exploded. Freedom reclaimed by nightfall. Lura 7 was in human hands. The prisoners gathered at the center of the camp, staring at the ship above them. Rhine stepped out onto the landing ramp. "You are no longer slaves," he shouted. "You are no longer forgotten." Kel stood beside him, holding the flag of Earth. "You are soldiers of a new tomorrow." Cheers echoed across the planet. The spark had become a flame. A difficult choice, back on the ship. Kronos spoke. "Victory has consequences. Enemy alliances are forming. Retaliation is certain." Rhine turned to Kel. "They'll come for us now, harder than before." Kel nodded. "Then we hit first." Kronos added, "We have one more hidden weapon. A long-range prototype built on Titan base before the fall. Status, unknown." Rhine narrowed his eyes. "Set course." Meanwhile, the shadows speaking the dark reaches of the galaxy. Something older than the council watched the events unfolding. A race that had stayed hidden for 1,000 years. Silent, ancient, powerful. They called themselves the Yarrows, and they knew the name Kronos well. It has awakened, one whispered. And so has the fire. A message to the galaxy. Kronos sent a signal to every system. Open channel. Uncoded. Direct. Ryan's face appeared again, this time across millions of screens. Devices, satellites. This message is for all species who thought humanity had died. He paused, looking straight into the camera. You were wrong. We are not your slaves. We are not your servants. We are the spark in the darkness. We are Earth. The screen turned black. Back on Goran 6, Milo stood under the twin moons with an old Earth toy in his hand. He smiled. Other children gathered around him, pointing at the stars. One said, "My dad says the humans have ships now. Big ones. With guns," Milo replied. "They'll come for us." A girl whispered, "And then what?" Milo smiled wide. "We fight." In the distance, flames began to rise across dozens of planets. Human workers stopped what they were doing. They looked to the sky. A ship passed. A sound played. It was a human voice. Calm, cold, proud. "We are the fire you tried to smother, and now you burn." The stars above looked the same. Quiet, cold, peaceful. But deep in space, something was changing. The galaxy had heard the spark. Now, it would feel the fire. Flashback, Earth. 80 years ago, the skies of Earth were red. Alien warships circled the planet. Fire rained down from orbit. Cities crumbled. Oceans boiled. The human military fought with everything they had. Tanks, aircraft, satellites, even nukes. But it was not enough. The Varn Dominion, the first alien power to attack, was fast, brutal, and without mercy. They came for Earth's resources and didn't care who lived or died in the last days of Earth. A group of scientists and soldiers gathered inside a hidden base under Antarctica. They knew the war was lost. They had one goal left: make sure humanity survived. Somewhere, somehow. The leader of the base, Dr. Lyra Shen, activated the last protocol. "Bury everything," she said. "Let the galaxy think we're dead." The Earth Defense Vault, the vault under the ice, was unlike any other on the planet. Inside were weapons, plans, data, and something more. It was named Kronos, an artificial mind created to protect, guide, and one day rebuild. Kronos spoke for the first time as the doors closed. "I will wait." Outside, Earth burned. Now, aboard the Hellborn, Commander Ryan stood in the war room of the ship. A 3D map of the galaxy floated in front of him. Red dots marked human slave colonies. Yellow dots showed Varn and allied military bases. Kel entered, holding a piece of metal, scorched, old, but clearly human. "Recovered from the ruins on Lura 7, she said. "It has Earth's seal." Ryan took it, staring at the symbol. "Every piece we find," he whispered, "reminds us of what we lost." Kronos' voice came over the speaker. New message intercepted. Source, unknown. Origin, Earth. Ryan looked up fast. "Earth? But it's gone. The surface is ash. But something is alive beneath. Signal is weak." Repeating a single word. Ryan listened closely. Through static and noise, a broken voice said, "Home, Human colony, Zarn Deltone, a prison moon where humans dug for alien fuel." A child drew something in the dirt. A circle with blue and green patches. A guard kicked the dirt and yelled, "No more symbols." But others had seen it. The Earth was not forgotten. At night, the humans whispered. "They say Earth still speaks. They say it calls to us. They say we're going back." Alien panic in the Galactic Council. Tension rose fast. The Varn demanded war. Others hesitated. One alien from the aquatic Thal species raised a concern. We defeated the humans once. But now they are smarter, hidden, angry. The council speaker, a gray-skinned elder with glowing eyes, spoke calmly. We did not kill their spirit. We only gave it time to grow. Some began to leave the Alliance. Fear had entered the room. Ryan's decision back on the Hellburn. Ryan stood in his private chamber. A small case lay on the table. Inside was a piece of Earth's soil, taken by his mother before the last escape. It was dry, cracked, almost black, but it was Earth. He stared at it for a long time, then turned to Kel. "We go back? To Earth?" she asked. He nodded. "If there's anything left, even a whisper, we find it." Journey to the dead world. The Hellburn left hyperspace near the Sol system. For the first time in 80 years, a human warship entered Earth space. The planet looked dead. No green, no blue. Just gray, ash and silence. "Scanning atmosphere," said Kronos. "Toxic, radioactive, but deep scans show structures intact, underground." Ryan's eyes lit up. "Take us in." Touchdown. The Hellburn landed on a flat field of ash near what used to be South America. A team of 5, including Ryan and Kel, wore sealed suits and stepped out. The air was still. Not even wind. Mountains had melted. Rivers were gone, but below, hidden by rock and shielded by ancient Earth tech, the last Earth vault still worked. A steel door, half buried in dust, opened slowly. The symbol of Earth glowed faintly above it. Inside the vault, they walked through cold halls. Old posters still hung on the walls. Motivational quotes, faded flags, family photos. Then, in the central chamber, the I spoke. Identity confirmed. "Commander Ryan, welcome home." They found frozen records, names, maps, DNA files, weapon plans, and a large wall with one sentence carved into stone. "If we die, let memory live. If we live, let vengeance speak." A survivor? Kronos connected with the vault's AI system. Then paused. New data. Unexpected life signs detected. One human, still alive, cryostatus. They ran to the chamber. Inside a glass pod, a woman lay still. Her nameplate read, "Dr. Lyra Shen." Kel whispered, "She built all this?" Kronos replied, "She was Earth's last architect. The one who planted the spark." Ryan activated the pod. As the glass lifted and air rushed in, Dr. Shen opened her eyes for the first time in 80 years. She gasped, then whispered, "Did we survive?" Ryan smiled. "We did, and we're fighting back." The first fire of Earth DR. Shen was weak, but her mind was sharp. Within hours, she began scanning old data, searching through hidden caches of forgotten technology. "We built more than the Hellburn," she told them. There were 12 fire ships. Hellburn was just one. Kronos confirmed. Locations unknown. Some may still exist. If found, human control would grow by 700%. Ryan looked at the team. "Then we find them." Kel added, "And we light the rest of the galaxy." Back in the council, the news spread quickly. Earth wasn't dead. Humans had returned. They had ships, weapons, and now, a voice from the past. The Varn panicked. "We must strike Earth again." They cried, but others hesitated. A smaller alien race, once loyal to the Varn, now asked, what if the humans were right? What if they only fought because they had no choice? The council was cracking. A message from Earth once again. Ryan's face appeared on galactic networks. This time, he stood on the dead soil of Earth. Behind him, a flag. "Our world was burned. Our people scattered. You called us weak. You made U.S. slaves." He looked into the camera. "But we are still here. We rose from ash. We remember everything." He paused. Echoes of Earth are spreading, and with them comes the fire. The spark becomes a fire everywhere across the galaxy. Human slaves picked up tools and sharpened them. Hidden rebel groups activated long-dead beacons. Old military codes reappeared on the networks. And one phrase was spoken more and more. In every dark corner of every colony, Earth remembers. The galaxy used to laugh at humans. Now it held its breath. One ship, the Hellburn, had changed everything. One name, Commander Rhine, was now spoken with fear. And one word, Earth, had become a warning. But behind the fire, cracks were beginning to form. Galactic Council, emergency meeting on the core world of Polvax Prime. The Galactic Council met again. It was their third emergency meeting in 2 cycles. Dozens of alien leaders stood in a great chamber shaped like a spiral. Each platform floated mid-air, representing a powerful race. Below them, holograms showed battle reports, damaged colonies, and rising human signals. The Varn leader, Counselor Dren, slammed his claw on the table. This is war. The humans are spreading faster than we expected. They must be erased, now. But not everyone agreed. The Thal, a water-based species, responded with calm. We agreed not to destroy intelligent life. They were peaceful once. We made them monsters. The insect-like Zithari hissed. Monsters with weapons we thought were lost. A robotic race called the Clint said nothing, but quietly began disconnecting their trade routes from Varn space. The cracks were visible now. The alliance was breaking. The human resistance network inside the Hellburn. Rhine walked into the new command chamber. A dozen humans sat at stations, engineers, pilots, former slaves, now fighters. The war room buzzed with activity. CHRONOS, the AI reported. 6 more colonies have joined the resistance. 3 fire bases discovered. Enemy systems destabilizing. Kell grinned. It's working. Commander Rhine nodded. Now we give them a choice, stand with us or fall with the Varn. He activated a global transmission. The message of Choiserin's message echoed across the stars. Simple and cold. To all species, you watched us suffer. Some of you helped. Most of you didn't. Now we rise and you have a choice. Help us, stay out of our way. Or fall with the ones who burned Earth. Silence followed the broadcast. Then, slowly, responses came in. The first defection, a small alien race known as the Trinari, once allies of the Varn, contacted Rhine. They appeared on screen, tall bird-like. Creatures, feathers dull with age. We remember Earth, said their leader. Your people once saved our young from a plague. We owe you. Rhine didn't smile. He simply nodded. You don't owe us. You just have a chance to be better than them. The Trinari joined the resistance. Inside the Varn War Council, Counselor Dren roared in anger. They are turning our friends into enemies. They are poisoning minds. His general, a younger warrior named Vel, spoke carefully. Maybe we pushed too far. Maybe, Dren interrupted. Silence. We crush Earth now, or we lose everything. He raised a device, send. The Purge Fleet. Operation Hellstorm begins. 3 massive Varn battlecruisers entered orbit above the human-held colony of Vetra 4, one of the first liberated zones. Their weapons locked on cities, schools, and power stations. But the humans were ready. From under the ground, anti-ship cannons rose. Dozens of Hellburn drones, powered by old Earth tech, swarmed up. The Varn fired first. Entire neighborhoods turned to flame. Then came Earth's answer. Blue plasma beams tore through the enemy ships. Explosions rocked the sky. One Varn cruiser fell, crashing into the mountains in pieces. The other 2 tried to escape, but Kronos's satellites had already hacked their navigation. They didn't get far. Casualties and Resolve Vevertra 4 survived, but not without pain. Hundreds died. Rhine walked through the smoking ruins. A small girl, covered in ash, stood holding her little brother's hand. She didn't cry. She just looked at him, her eyes empty. Kell kneeled next to her. We'll make them pay, she whispered. The girl finally spoke. No, make them remember. An unlikely ally, the Clint, a machine-based species, had always stayed out of wars. They calculated survival, logic, and efficiency. But now, they contacted the Hellburn. A cold robotic voice came through. You adapt. You resist, you rebuild. Human pattern, dangerous to oppress. Advantageous to align, Ryan asked. Are you joining us? Yes, with data, with maps, with silence, but only once. Ryan smiled for the first time in days. That's all we need. Kronos finds something. Later that night, Kronos spoke to Ryan privately. Deep scan of a forgotten moon revealed something. Ancient structure, human tech, buried and locked. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Another fire ship? Kronos hesitated. Unknown. But it's broadcasting a human voice. Very old. Possibly pre-fall. Possibly ... yours. Ryan's heart skipped. Set course. Meanwhile, secret Varn meeting far from the council. Dren met with another Varn leader in private. We underestimated them, said the other. They build fast. Think faster. Dren's eyes burned. They are fire, so we'll drown them. He pressed a button. A dark screen appeared. A huge shadow moved behind it. The Varn were building something forbidden. Something old. The humans call it revenge, Dren whispered. We call it extinction. Arrival at the moon. The Hellburn landed on the dead moon Olorus X. The air was thin. The surface cracked, but deep below, a structure still stood, shaped like a spear buried in the rock. Its door opened for Ryan alone. Inside, lights turned on. A voice played, soft, female, human. To the one who carries Earth in his blood. Welcome. Kel stared at the walls. It's not just tech. It's a memory vault. Ryan walked into a circular chamber. All around him, holograms lit up. A mother singing to her child on a burned street. Soldiers fighting with old rifles against towering mechs. Civilians hiding in train stations as alien bombs fell. A child, him, watching it all. Ryan whispered, they recorded it. All of it. Kronos confirmed. This vault is not a weapon. It is history. And history is the strongest weapon of all. The last recording at the center of the room, a single file played. It was Ryan's mother. She looked tired. Her eyes were red, but she smiled as she spoke into the camera. If you're watching this, my son, you made it. And maybe, just maybe, Earth did too. Kel placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. She never stopped believing in you. Ryan didn't speak, but a tear fell from his eye. He turned to the team. Let the galaxy see this. All of it. Kronos distributed the footage. The galaxy reacts when the video spread, showing Earth's fall. The screams, the courage, the fire. Things changed. Some aliens wept. Others turned against their leaders. On colony worlds, slaves rose up with new anger. Even in Varn space, a few young soldiers questioned the war. One Varn general was executed for refusing to fire on a human refugee base. The crack becomes a shatter inside the council chambers. 3 species declared neutrality. 1. The Yareth, known for trading weapons, offered support to the humans. Dren screamed in rage. They've infected your hearts. But his voice no longer carried power. The last scene back on the Hellburn, Ryan stood with his crew. Behind him, flags of all new human-free worlds, Vetra 4, Lura 7, Goran 6, Zarn Delta, each a symbol of hope. Kel asked, what now? Ryan's eyes looked at the stars. We prepare. For what? She said. Ryan's voice was quiet, but full of fire. The galaxy hasn't seen war. Not real war. Not human war. He walked to the window, and when they do, they'll wish they had. Darkness hung over Saturn's orbit. The rings glowed faintly behind the clouds of ice and gas. Far from any war zone, any life, or any noise, the moon Titan slept. But Titan had a secret. And now, after 80 years of silence, humanity had returned to wake it. The dream of the dead in a dreamless cryosleep. Dr. Lyra Shen dreamed of Earth. She remembered trees, oceans, the sound of birds. She remembered fire too, and screams. When she woke aboard the Hellburn, her first words were, "Go to Titan. That's where we hid it." Commander Ryan stared at her. "Hid what?" She didn't blink. Her voice was flat. "The thing that could have stopped the war. If only we'd finished it in time." Kronos, the AI, confirmed. "There's a signal buried deep under Titan's southern pole. Energy levels unstable. Possibly dormant weapon." Kel raised an eyebrow. "So Earth had a last card?" Dr. Shen nodded. "A king, buried before checkmate." The descent to Titan. The Hellburn entered Saturn's orbit in stealth mode. No signals. No lights. No trace. Titan spun slowly below, covered in thick clouds and frozen terrain. As the crew prepared for descent, Ryan gave orders. "Only 4 of us go in. No full landing. We don't want attention." He pointed to Kronos. "You guide us." 1. "Wrong move. We all melt." Kronos replied calmly. "Acknowledged. Begin descent. And good luck." The hidden facility, the small scout ship, pierced Titan's clouds and landed gently near a jagged ice ridge. The crew stepped out in sealed suits. Ryan, Kel, a technician named Arlo, and Dr. Shen herself. Shen led them across the ice plains. "It should be here." They reached a point marked only by a small bump in the ice. Nothing visible. Nothing large. Shen pulled out an old device, powered by Earth's last encryption. She tapped the code. With a deep rumble, the ground split open. An elevator platform rose from the ice. Arlo blinked. "Earth tech still works after 80 years? Shen smiled faintly. "We built things to last." Descent below Titan. The elevator dropped for minutes. Walls of steel and ice passed by. Then light. They entered a massive underground hangar, buried so deep even advanced alien scans couldn't detected. In the center of the chamber stood a massive structure, part machine, part engine, part something else. Black metal, glowing blue veins, human symbols mixed with alien code. CHRONOS spoke from the comms. "Unknown weapon class. Records show it was called Project Atlas." Kel whispered, "What does it do?" Shen answered, voice low. "If it works, it turns gravity itself into a weapon. Project Atlas, Earth's final weapon." They circled the machine. A dome the size of a small building, with 6 long metallic arms stretching outward like a spider. One arm was broken. Shen walked toward the control hub and plugged in her device. Screens came alive. "Atlas AI activated. Please verify command." Shen typed her old code. The I accepted it instantly. She looked up at Ryan. "This is why Earth didn't surrender. Not because we thought we'd win, but because we hoped this would be finished in time." Ryan looked over the interface. "What did it do, exactly?" Shen explained. "It manipulates localized gravity, crushes ships from space, tears apart planetary defenses, and if overcharged, it can cause controlled singularities." Kel blinked. "Black holes?" Shen nodded. "Small, fast, deadly, then gone." Arlo stepped back. "That's why they wanted Earth erased." Shen said, "Nothing." She didn't have to. Sabotage detected. Kronos' voice crackled urgently. "Warning. Varn probe detected outside Titan orbit. Stealth failed. Enemy en route." Ryan turned to the others. "Can we move this thing?" Shen shook her head. "Not quickly. It's rooted to Titan's crust, but we can activate it remotely." Kel shouted, "Then let's get out of here." But it was too late. Varn arrival in orbit. 2 Varn warships dropped out of hyperspace. Their sensors scanned Titan's surface and locked onto the buried facility. Inside the underground vault, alarms lit up. Ryan activated his wrist. "Come, Kronos. Send a decoy. Buy us 10 minutes. Understood." Launching drone swarm. Initiating flare protocol. Above Titan, dozens of Hellburn decoy drones launched. drawing fire from the Varn ships. Inside, the team worked fast. Shen uploaded Atlas's control code into Kronos. This is the only copy. Protect it. Then suddenly, a blast shook the vault. Arlo screamed. Part of the ceiling collapsed, pinning his leg. Ryan and Kel tried to pull him free. Blood covered the ice. I can't feel my foot, Arlo gasped. Ryan looked at Shen. We have to leave now. Shen handed Ryan the control chip. You go. I'll stay and trigger it if they get inside. Ryan refused. No, we all leave. Or none of us do. Shen smiled sadly. You're a good commander. But I'm already a ghost from a dead world. She pushed him toward the elevator. Save the galaxy from what's coming. Use Atlas. Make them remember Earth. The doors closed. As they rose, Kel watched Shen standing alone, surrounded by light and ice. Then she was gone. Atlas awakens outside as the Varn ships prepared to fire. Titan began to shake. Then, a pulse. Invisible. Silent, but massive. One Varn ship twisted mid-space, metal screaming. Engines snapping in two, then collapsed inward as if pulled by an unseen hand. It was crushed before it hit the moon's surface. The second ship tried to escape, but its navigation failed. Its weapons fired randomly. A final energy spike rose from Titan, and the second Varn ship was gone. Kronos whispered, Atlas is active. A message sent from orbit. Ryan watched it all. Shen's final act, Earth's buried weapon, and a moon now glowing with fire. He sent one message to the galaxy. We warned you. You broke Earth. Now Earth breaks back. The Council. Splinters back in the Galactic Council. Panic took over. One empire broke its treaty with the Varn. Another called for a ceasefire. Protests erupted across Varn-controlled colonies. The Thal ambassador stood and spoke with cold truth. The humans now have gravity as a weapon. They don't want peace. They want memory. Counselor Dren, shaking with rage, hissed. They want revenge. But even his generals no longer looked certain. A new path aboard the Hellburn. Ryan placed the Atlas control chip into Kronos' core. Build a failsafe, he ordered. CHRONOS responded. Failsafe confirmed. Atlas can now be triggered remotely. One signal, one target. Kel sat nearby. We lost Shen. Ryan nodded. She gave us the one thing we didn't have before. Kel asked, Hope? Ryan shook his head. Fear. Now they finally fear us. The final Cena message played across. Underground human colonies, free worlds, and rebel stations. Titan lives, Earth remembers. We are not done. Across the stars, once enslaved people stood taller. Rebel flags flew higher, and somewhere, in deep space, a new fireship came online. Its hull black, its name glowing in red. Echo of Earth. Across the stars, silence had become fear. Titan's secret was no longer a secret. 2 Varn warships had vanished without a trace, destroyed by an ancient human weapon. Atlas. Now the message was clear. Earth was back, inside. Varn High Command. Fear replaces power in the floating fortress Ranso. The Varn's military command gathered. Their war banners, once bright and proud, now felt heavy and cold. Counselor Dren stood at the center, his claws tapping the steel table. His once sharp voice was tired, almost nervous. They have the Atlas weapon. That's undeniable. But we are still the Varn. We've crushed 100 worlds before Earth. We'll do it again. But no one cheered. General Vel, younger and bolder, finally spoke. They are not like before. They do not beg, they strike, and we bleed. Dren growled, then we must strike harder. Vel shook his head. We strike harder, and they strike smarter. Dren's authority was cracking, and he knew it. Hellburn, the plan on board the Hellburn. Ryan gathered his crew in the war room. The star map hovered mid-air. Varn space pulsed red. Human-controlled worlds blinked blue. And one planet, Drensil, was marked with a skull. Kel crossed her arms. "You're going after Dren?" Ryan nodded. "We don't win this war with weapons. We win it by cutting off the head." Kronos added, "Dren's fortress is protected by triple shields and elite Varn fleets. However, a gap exists. A weak point. A strike team could reach the surface." Kel's eyes narrowed. "You're saying we sneak in?" Rain said nothing. He just smiled. "The infiltration begins at the edge of Varn space." A small decoy fleet appeared. Old ships, half damaged, loaded with explosives. The Varn fleet moved to intercept, but it was a trap from behind a dead moon. The Echo of Earth, a new fire-class human ship, appeared. Fast, silent, and deadly dotted, cloaked and slipped past defenses. Inside, Ryan led a 6-person team, including Kel, 2 rebel soldiers, a silent sniper named Real, and a former alien slave, Tor, who once escaped Drensil itself. Kronos guided them. Fortress entry point detected. Power grid thin near the waste shafts. Ryan grinned. Of course, the Varn never checked the garbage. Inside Drensil, ghosts of power, they entered through old tunnels, dark, damp, and unused for years. The team moved in silence. As they climbed through the vents, they saw the Varn from above, pacing, shouting, scanning reports. They weren't proud warriors anymore. They were scared. Kel whispered, "We did this without even firing." Real whispered back, "Not yet." The assassin appears just as they reach the central control hall. A blur moved. A Varn elite, faster than any they'd seen, slammed into Real, snapping his rifle in half. Alarms blared. Ryan dove behind a console. Tor fired plasma shots. The elite charged at Kel. Before it could strike, Ryan launched his pulse blade, straight through its chest. The alien fell, gasping. K. looked at Ryan. "Guess stealth time's over." Ryan replied, "Good, I hate sneaking." Confronting Dren, they reached the top chamber, a massive throne room with a transparent ceiling showing space above. Counselor Dren waited. He stood alone, claws behind his back, dressed in ceremonial armor of his ancestors. He didn't look angry. He looked tired. Ryan stepped forward. "This is your last chance. Surrender or fall." Dren turned slowly. "You don't understand, human. I tried to warn them. Earth was a mistake, but we could not let you rise." Kel spat. "You bombed children." Dren didn't flinch. "We bombed your future before it became our end. And now it's too late." Ryan raised his weapon. "You're right. It's too late." The dual Dren activated his energy staff. It hummed with purple light. Ryan activated twin plasma blades. They charged. Steel clashed. Sparks flew. The room echoed with power and screams. Kel and the others held back. This was personal. Dren was fast, years of training and battle. But Ryan fought with something more. Memory, pain, fire. Dren struck Ryan's shoulder. Blood sprayed. Ryan grunted and spun, slicing Dren's side. The fight raged for minutes. Finally, Ryan disarmed him, knocking Dren's staff across the floor. Breathing hard, Dren knelt. "Kill me then. Become what you hate." Ryan looked into his eyes. Then turned away. "No, you don't deserve honor." He nodded to Kronos. "Let the galaxy see this." The broadcast across every system, every screen, every world, a live feed. Appeared. Dren. Defeated, kneeling, humiliated. Ryan's voice echoed. "This is the face of the empire that burned Earth. We are no longer your slaves. We are your judgment." The feed ended, and with it, the Varn's rule. Escape, the collapse. Begins. The team retreated fast. Already, Varn systems were collapsing. Dren's generals turned on each other. One fired on the fortress itself, attempting a final act of loyalty or madness. Explosions tore through the halls. As the Hellburn swooped in for pickup, Ryan looked back one last time. Dren's empire was falling from within. Aftermath later. Back on the Echo of Earth, Ryan sat alone in his quarters. Kel entered. "You did it," she said softly. Ryan replied, "We did it." "But the war's not over." She nodded. "There are still colonies under Varn control. Still prisoners. Still ghosts." Ryan looked out the window toward the stars. "Then we keep going, until every cage is broken. Until every world knows Earth stands. Far away, a new threat awakens in deep space, far beyond known systems. Something stirred. An ancient signal blinked. Faint but active. It was not human. Not Varn. Not any known species. Just a single message. Humanity has returned. Initiate protocol. Oblivion. A large, sleeping machine opened its eyes. Something far older than any empire. Something Earth was never meant to wake. The Varn had fallen. Their ships drifted without orders. Their soldiers surrendered or scattered. Their leader, Counselor Dren, humiliated, broken, and left to rot under his collapsing empire. Humanity had struck back. Hard. But victory came with a cost. Because deep in the shadows of the galaxy, something else had been watching. Something older than the Varn. Something built to erase. And now, it had woken. A distant world, long forgotten. The planet was dark, floating at the edge of a dying star. No name. No life. Only ruins beneath its crust. Buried for thousands of years. A signal pulsed. The message. Humanity has returned. The signal reached the center of the world. There, deep under black stone, massive machines stirred. Red eyes opened. A voice, cold and artificial, echoed. Protocol. Oblivion confirmed. Reconstructing fleet. Resetting extinction cycle. Target, human resurgence. Then silence. The countdown had begun. Back on the Hellburn, celebration turns cold. Commander Ryan stood before a crowd, rebels, soldiers, engineers, even free aliens once ruled by the Varn. A new banner waved behind him. The Earthborn Pact. He spoke simply. "We did not start this war, but we will finish it. For Earth, for freedom, for every world they tried to silence." Cheers rang out. Fireworks lit the void above Titan. But below deck, Kronos picked up something strange. A ghost signal. He tried to trace it. It bounced between dead stars, then vanished. CHROONOS. Pause for 0.3 seconds. A long pause for an AI. He whispered. "That was not Varn." The signal reaches Earth's moon base at Outpost Eden, the rebuilt human station near the moon. Alarms lit up. A listening array caught a deep space anomaly. One technician gasped. "It's not language, it's pattern." Another decoded the stream. His face went pale. "It's ancient, older than recorded time." The stream repeated 3 symbols. No words, just shapes. But those shapes matched ruins found deep under Earth's oceans. Ruins the governments once buried and forgot. They called it the Black Geometry. Ryan's briefing. The impossible explained. Kronos summoned Ryan, Kel, and the remaining leaders of the Earthborn Pact. He displayed a rotating map of the galaxy, marking ancient signal sources, once quiet, now active. Kel frowned. "Are we under attack again?" Kronos didn't answer directly. Instead, he asked, "Do you know why the Varn feared Earth?" Ryan replied, "Because we resisted them." Kronos shook his head. "Because we attracted attention. Because once before, Earth woke something. Something the Varn never wanted to face again." Everyone fell silent. CHRONOES explained. "Before the Varn, there was something else. A machine race. We call them the Erasers." "Who were the Erasers?" Kronos showed ancient records, distorted images recovered from Varn archives. A fleet of dark ships, not built but grown. Planets turned to ash. Civilizations turned to silence. The Erasers did not conquer. They deleted. Anything that showed resistance. Anything that evolved too far. Too fast. Chronos continued. The Varn didn't just attack Earth because we were rebellious. They attacked to silence the signal our evolution triggered. They hoped, by destroying Earth, they would delay the Eraser's return. Ryan whispered, they failed. Chronos confirmed, yes, the signal is active. The Erasers are coming, and no empire can stop them alone. The meeting of enemies. A strange event happened days later. A Varn ship, unarmed, limping, arrived at Titan orbit. It requested peace. On board was General Vel, one of the last high Varn commanders. He was brought before Ryan chained, but he didn't beg. Instead, he spoke with a broken voice. We were wrong. All these years, we tried to hide them. We killed your world to delay them. Now they come anyway. Kel glared. Why warn us now? Vel looked up. Because we don't want to die alone. The alliance born in fiery secret. Meeting took place on Titan. Human leaders, rebel aliens, Varn survivors. Even once neutral species, they formed a circle not of power, but of fear. Chronos led the briefing. The Erasers target advanced minds, large data structures, and evolving AI life. They detect change. They erase it. Ryan asked, can we stop them? Chronos replied, maybe, but we need every weapon. Including Atlas, including enemies we once hunted. Kel whispered, even the Varn? Chronos nodded. For now. Yes, because extinction doesn't care who started the fire. It just burns everything. Atlas reactivated. The first test they returned to Titan's core. Atlas was sleeping, but its sensors were twitching, already sensing new threats in space. Chronos connected. Atlas, prepare for cross-galaxy strike. The machine replied. With a pulse ready. Chronos smiled, digitally. Time to speak in the language of extinction. The Eraser's first attack on a small rebel world named Nithus. The first Eraser fleet arrived. No message. No warning. Just a black cloud, machines that moved like smoke, faster than light, tearing data cores from the sky. The planet lost 90% of life in 5 minutes. Only the memory core survived, beamed to the Hellburn. Ryan watched it in silence. A child screaming. A sky burning. Then, nothing. Kel whispered. They don't just kill, Ryan replied. They delete the idea of what was alive. One last hope. Chronos displayed one final map. A location in deep space, Sector Z99, where ancient records say the Erasers first appeared. There was the Forge. An old station, predating even the Varn. Chronos believed it held a key, a code that could shut down the Erasers. But no one who ever entered came back. Ryan stood. I'll go. Kel grabbed his arm. You won't come back. Ryan looked at her, eyes tired but sharp. I'm not trying to come back. I'm trying to end this. The final message aboard the Echo of Earth. A message was sent to the galaxy. Ryan's voice, calm and firm. To all who hear this, the war for Earth is over. But the war for everything has begun. Stand with us, or vanish alone. The Erasers are coming. This time, humanity will not run. We will burn the void before they erase us. Far away, the Erasers watch at the edge of the known galaxy. The Erasers aligned. Tens of thousands of ships, moving as one. Silent. They had no politics. No emotion. Only purpose. And Earth's name was already marked for deletion. The beginning of the end. The galaxy held its breath. Worlds once enemies now stood side by side. Humans, Varn, rebels, free races. All watching the same thing. A black wave in the stars. The Erasers, thousands of ships. Machines with no faces, no voices, no mercy. But waiting for them was humanity. Inside the Hellburn, the final mission commander Ryan stood in front of his team. The stars outside were dark, silent. He spoke with no fear. They are faster, They are stronger. But they don't know one thing: we never stop fighting. Beside him, Kel held her rifle. Let's show them what hell looks like. The battle plan Kronos displayed the battlefield in 3D. The Eraser fleet was approaching. Sector Z99. Deep inside, an ancient station called the Forge. Inside the Forge, a hidden core, possibly older than time. That core, if activated, could shut down the erasers forever. But there was one problem. The Forge is protected by an Eraser Prime, the first of its kind. We call it Oblivion 1, Ryan nodded. Then we burn it. The battle begins. Sector Z99 human and Varn ships arrived first, forming a wall of fire, the echo of Earth. The Hellburn and over 300 rebel cruisers flew together, something once thought impossible. The erasers came like a storm. Their ships didn't move. They flowed. Plasma code and darkness mixed. Fighters were ripped apart in seconds, but humanity struck back. Atlas fired from Titan, a beam so powerful it carved through the eraser front lines. Cheers broke out. But then, the sky opened, and Oblivion 1 arrived. Oblivion 1. The end made flesh. It wasn't a ship. It was a world-sized machine. Floating, glowing, humming. It spoke no words, just released a shockwave that shut down 40 ships instantly. CHRONOS flinched. It's targeting all intelligent systems. Even me. Ryan looked at his crew. Manual mode, no AI support. From here on, it's just us. Infiltrating the Forgerine. Kel and a strike team launched in stealth pods. They crashed into the Forge, a giant metal skeleton surrounded by space. Inside, silence, dust, and echoes of lost civilizations. The deeper they went, the stranger things got. Rooms that shifted, time that bent, voices that weren't real. Tor, the alien warrior, whispered, "This place isn't built by hands." Kronos, reduced to a handheld unit, guided them. The core is ahead, but something is guarding it. The final guard. Oblivion 1 descends. The walls cracked. Metal screamed. Oblivion 1 entered the Forge, folding itself through space. It didn't walk. It didn't fly. It existed. Kel opened fire. Useless. Tor launched a plasma grenade. The machine absorbed it. Then it spoke. For the first time, you rose too far. You learned too fast. This cycle must end. Ryan stepped forward. I've heard those words before. From empires, from tyrants, from cowards. He pulled out a single blade, ancient human steel, no tech. Try and stop us. The final fight while Kronos hacked the core's locks. Ryan and Kel fought Oblivion. 1. Not to kill it, just to distract it. Every slash burned, every second counted. Tor was hit, thrown into a wall. Unconscious. Ryan was bleeding from the mouth, still. They stood. CHRONO shouted, "Core access in 10 seconds." Oblivion 1 charged a final beam, enough to destroy the room. Kel tackled Ryan out of the way. She was hit. The room exploded in white. The core activates through smoke and fire. Ryan crawled. His armor was cracked. Kel lay beside him, barely breathing. He reached the core node. CHRONOS single quotes S voice whispered, "Say it, Commander. Say Earth's name. The system is listening." Ryan touched the glowing light. His voice was low, broken, but proud. Humanity. The core pulsed once, then again, then exploded with light. A wave of blue fire shot across space. The eraser ships froze, then stopped moving. One by one, they shut down. Their lights went dark, their shapes crumbled, and just like that, the galaxy was silent again. Aftermath. Kel Livesrine woke days later on a recovery ship. Kel sat beside him, arm in a sling. "You did it," she said. Ryan replied, "We did." Tor walked in, limping. "Next time, let's fight something small." Everyone laughed. A message to the stars from Earth. A new signal was sent. Not a warning, a promise, Rhine's voice, now legendary, echoed across space. To all species, if you are hunted, if you are silenced, if you are forgotten, Earth hears you. Earth stands with you. We are not the past anymore. We are the fire that burns the dark. We are humanity unleashed. Final scene, a distant star far away in a silent sector. A small drone watched the ruins of the erasers. It blinked, recorded, and whispered to itself. They beat oblivion. What will they do to the gods? Then it vanished. Series N. For now, humanity unleashed. Hell wasn't just a story of war. It was a story of what happens when the broken rise, when the hunted fight back, when the forgotten become the storm, and somewhere in the stars, the next chapter waits.